be a sponge, and then bring the juice.
By focusing on your improvement, by focusing on your progress, and eliminating any fixed mindset that you may have and acts of perfectionism, then you encourage your own mastery.
On some level, we do what we want to do 24 hours a day. Now, sometimes it may not seem like that, but if I'm choosing to work instead of sleep, what I'm actually saying is keeping my job is more important than sleeping.
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of getting beat. What can I do to get over this hump? So mentally, that's when I kind of put that forefront, like, hey, it's either all or nothing.
I like to put failure in quotations because I don't believe that failure is true failure if you're looking at it with the right mindset.
The truth is, the journey to greatness is hard. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus, and every day you have to decide what you value, what you want to pursue, and what you want to achieve. And if you dig deep enough, if you push hard enough, we all have what it takes to be great. Welcome to the Edge of Greatness. Hello and welcome back to the Edge of Greatness. I'm your coach, Charles Schultz, and I'm excited to have you back joining me again. Before we get into today's content, which I'm extremely excited about, I do have a huge announcement that I am equally excited to share with you guys. I recently have been picked up. The show has been picked up by NGBN TV, which means we will be making a transition to a television near you starting in January. You will be able to download and stream live on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, any mobile device. I will give you more information and details through my social media and on here as we get closer, but I did want to just make the announcement that the show's going to change a little bit. We're going to get some different lighting, we're going to get some different setups, we're going to do some different things, but the content is going to remain the same. I'm going to deliver information, conversations, coaching tips on how to unlock the best version of yourself. That's what it's all about. How can we get better every day? How can we grow? How can we change and continue to pursue greatness on a regular basis? I think that is the essential focal point of what I want to get across. This is just going to help me do it in a different way. And I hope you come along for the ride. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. TV is going to be a little bit different, but at the same time, I'm excited about this next challenge and what that brings and what that looks like. So, but for today's content, let's dive into this a little bit. For those of you out there who are in the creator world, you're writing stuff, you're posting online, you're trying to build content, you're looking to connect with the world. Clearly, everybody out there's got it figured out. Everyone's making $10K a month. They got big houses, fancy cars, supermodel girlfriends, six-pack abs. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. The world shows their shiny stuff. There's very few people who are authentic and show the struggles, the losses, the setbacks. And I get that. Nobody wants to really share all that. But I do think it's valuable at times to remember that we're all struggling through this. The 10K a month thing kills me. I crack up every time that they're like, oh, 10X this and 10K a month. And if you do 10K, I can take you to 40K. And we do. I mean, I hope they understand. We realize that 20% of American households make 120K a year. That's with two incomes, and it's 20%. Stop buying it. They're posted up next to somebody else's fancy car. They're going into houses that aren't theirs. They're taking pictures. Like, it is what it is. It's fine. But the world needs more reality. It needs more authenticity. We need to start to stop looking at what everyone else is showing you and trust that what you're doing is the right steps, the right path, the right opportunities. You don't need the things I've listed to have a fulfilled life. Sure, those things help. And also, sure, let me come back to this. There are people online who are doing that, but it's a small percentage. It's even smaller for those who are saying million plus. I mean, that's literally 0.6, 0.7% of the American population. And I get, again, this is a global thing, but everybody posts that they're doing this and they're winning that. And I think at times it's okay to say, I'm building to this. I'm working on that. I'm excited about these opportunities that I'm trying to develop. Too often, this fake it till we make it mindset just makes us a liar. You have to have confidence in what you're trying to become. You have to believe in what you want to become. You have to be able to see it, but you don't have to lie about it. And I think the fake it till you make it sets us up to be a liar. And I want us to be truth tellers with confidence and belief that my truth and reality will change eventually. Because the truth is I'm not making 10K a month. I'm not living in a big old fancy house and I drive a minivan. And that's okay. I do have a supermodel wife though. So, I mean, I guess I'm winning there and I have 3 beautiful kids. So part of that, I guess I'm winning a little bit. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that we're projecting confidence and strength, but let's do it in a way that doesn't make us liars. And if you're somebody who's uncomfortable, you're in a place that you're just getting started and you keep seeing all of these people who are winning and it's deterring you from telling your story, ignore it. Stop looking at them. The world needs your story. Tell your story. Tell us where you're at. Tell us what you're working on. Tell us about your experiences. Make it about you. Stop worrying about them. Because for every 20 people who say they're doing big things, they're probably not. There's one. There's 1 out of 20 that are actually telling the truth about what they do, because 10% of people who make big money don't talk about big money. 10% do. Everybody else is lying. So I think that that's important to remember and to continue to put stuff out there, even if you haven't figured it out all the way. Because the truth is that none of us will ever have it figured out all the way. So keep producing content, keep being hungry to get better, keep believing that there's more for you and go after it. I have a framework today I want to share with you. This is a 2-parter. I don't usually go 2 parts, but as to start to get used to the idea that I'm going to be on a TV show and we're going to have to fill some time and we're going to have to do some different things. I am making a step towards making the episodes a little bit longer. The network wants me to talk and do a show probably closer to the 30-minute mark, which is cool. I'm excited about that. But in the process of doing all those things, I have to figure out how to fill that airtime. And obviously the conversation ones will be a little bit longer like they are now, but there's an approach to goal setting that I've used, and honestly, it's an approach to living through life that I've used for years that I think might be of value to you. I mean, with the year coming to an end, 2024 is just around the corner. There are a lot of people out there saying that they would like to achieve big things. They've got exciting stuff on the horizon for 2024, and that's awesome. I approach my life like I'm still an athlete. I have a preseason, I have an in-season, I have a postseason, and then I have an off-season. And based on what I'm trying to accomplish, I use that framework to attack that goal. So, for example, let's start here. Let's tell a story about I want to present at a TEDx event. I want to speak on a big stage in front of thousands of people. I think that would be amazing. But I can't just step out onto that stage, right? So in the preseason, this is my learning phase. What do I need to do to be able to present at TEDx? What type of people present at TEDx? What would my topic be? How will I develop that speech? Who is my audience? I have to develop all of these things. When would I like to present? So I set the goals. I set what I need to know. What do I need to learn? It's my base building phase. And this is true for any goal. I want to run a marathon. Okay. When is my marathon? Have I ever ran a marathon before? So how much strength and conditioning do I have to develop? What type of days do I have available to myself? How much time am I going to commit? Plan out all the details. Preseason is for the details. It's the base building stage. It's the details phase. It's the this is what I think's going to happen phase. And if something goes wrong, we'll figure it out. But then we move into in season. In season, there's some competitions. There's practices. We pivot. We start to adjust. We see where our weaknesses are and our strengths are, and we start to tailor ourselves to those things. And as we start to compete, so let's say for example, I'm doing the TEDx. I got picked up. I want to do a TEDx. I want to build to this thing. So in season, I'm making presentations with my TEDx speech in mind to smaller audiences. I'm starting to refine what works, what doesn't, what sounds good, what doesn't. How do I adjust to make this the best speech possible? Because for TEDx, you have to present your speech and say it exactly word for word, or they won't put it on their website. At least this is what I've been told. So there's no going off the cuff and making things up. You have to present a very structured, very specific speech. So the time to practice the things that work is in the in season. Build stages up, go to different venues, give different presentations, mark down things that work, figure out things that don't, make your adjustments. How do I present it? Let's go. And then the postseason it's championship time. We're getting close. The event's right here. So you're up in the ante. For the TEDx, I'm looking for bigger audiences to present to so that when I get on the TEDx stage, it doesn't overwhelm me. It's not too much. So I'm looking for big corporate events. I'm looking for places with thousands of people that are maybe just a little less than the big stage, but they're comparable, right? I'm up in the pressure. And if I'm preparing for a marathon, in season, I'm running some 5Ks so I can feel what the event feels like. Post season, I'm running maybe a 10K, maybe a half marathon, somewhere in the middle. Like not quite all the way to my goal, right? I don't want to be too close where I run a half marathon and then turn around and run a marathon. That's too much. But you can create larger experiences that challenge you to up your game and prepare you for the big championship moment. Right? And you can do this for anything that you want to attack. It doesn't just have to be a physical thing or a speech, right? Whatever it is that you're going after, look at it as a season. And this doesn't have to be a year-long season. You can shrink the seasons. The seasons don't have to go, all right, preseason for 3 months, in-season for 3 months, postseason for 3 months, off-season for 3 months. It can be, all right, I've done this before. My in-season is going to be a month. My preseason is going to be a month. My in-season is going to be, let's say, a month and a half. My postseason is going to be 30 days. And then I'm going to relax for a little bit and unwind. Ultimately, you decide how long and how much time you need based on your experience and your understanding of the situation. And then make sure you enjoy the off-season. Because eventually what happens is you're going to start to cycle through this season, and it's going to repeat over and over and over again. And if you don't give yourself a break, if you go straight from the postseason championship into the next preseason, eventually you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to find yourself in a place where you're like, I don't want to do anything else. So use the off season. And again, it doesn't have to be multiple months. It can be a week. It could be 2. It could be a month, depending on what you went after and how much time you feel you need to recharge and feel better and get back after it. But during the off-season, reflect. How did the season go? What did I do well? What do I need to improve upon for next season? What level do I want to go up when I make my next set of goals in the next preseason? And I think if you look at life this way, if you attack life in this preseason, in-season, postseason, off-season approach, it sets you up to consistently make next steps, right? Because it gives you that break to then reflect and go bigger, to go further, to do more. If you like the framework, but you're not sure how to apply it to yourself, let me know. I'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through where you're at and what your goals are and how we can use this framework to help you. If you want more help than just kind of walking through, shoot me a DM, send me an email on Twitter. DMs are open, or you can shoot me an email at charles@theedgeofgreatnessproject.com, and we can work through this together. I think everybody should be striving for something big all the time, except for in the off season. Don't do it then. But then let's continue to grow, win, develop together. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I think it was a lot of fun to kind of expand this out, add more things, talk a little bit more. I'm looking forward to going to the television network and seeing where that goes and what comes of that. So, as always, keep reaching for the stars. Fall flat on your face, remember, whenever we fall, always get up. Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness podcast.